and we need to try something crazy. So with 2 games, like with old men needing to win the next 2 games, I'm not so sure. Like it could be really interesting to see what they choose to do, especially on a map like this, guys. Um, thank you so much. I can use the mouse wheel to scroll between tables, PKZ. Now, that is actually interesting because my hotkeys for idle villagers are also the scroll. But anyway, it's very nice. We're all set. So let's introduce the players. We have Viper here, and he's in the yellow. He seems to be the pocket, and that seems to be the trend. Slam, he is playing as the Vikings, and he is Viper's flank. The other pocket then is Doubt, playing as the Mayans. Then the last flank then is Riot, playing as the Mongols. So across from Riot then is Kwai as the Mayans, then Moonlight as the Persians, Fangzing as the Mongols, and the remaining player I've not mentioned is the Spanish. So the civs are actually a little bit different. Uh, I like that. I like that. These guys have mixed it up a little bit. And this map is a really cool map, just to confirm. I'm getting my names mixed up, but I'm not gonna get it wrong. But anyway, this map is obviously interesting. Basically, we actually saw this in the final game of the Maldives, where it was Yo and the Viper. They played this in the final game, and it's even more interesting in team games. So we have, yeah, Chaos Pit. That's what it is. Sorry. For some reason, I had the pit, but I was gonna say something other than chaos. I'm not even gonna tell you because it was way off. But high aggression is often seen, but also, I mean, we've talked about walls with these teams. I don't think walls is really something that's going to be available. If you do a lot of walling here, it can easily be broken down. Also, you're quite close to your enemies. It's really hard to call. I haven't seen, as far as like Arabia games and other team games. I've seen a lot of open random land map games, but I have not seen a lot of team games played on this map. But take a look. I mean, Feng Zhao is just like all about the walls. Obviously, I was just talking about it. And Slam catching that villager out and going to pick it off. I mean, I certainly think it would be wise to wall this, but maybe not now. And getting caught out that early and losing a vill that early is a big deal. Viper's actually going to come over now with his scout. Do we see the scout from the ally then? Feng Zing. Don't really see it anywhere nearby. And they could easily pick off another villager because Feng Zhao is not here. That is really sloppy play. Going over to lame, I guess. That would be my assumption, is why the villager's going so far. But that is, oh, not quite losing the vill, but huge deal, really. That this wall, that villager's been delayed. And, yeah, it's just really, really sloppy. So, this other side probably going to have, yep, a little bit of walling and similar stuff. Yeah, people seem to think that TyRanT's going to destroy old men here. I just feel like the confidence is not there for old men versus TyRanT. I mean, last game I spoke before the game started. I said, was the two sling strat were they trying to catch, TyRanT off guard, or were they just not confident? Were they just not confident? They think they were gonna lose, so they just tried something crazy. And already with the amount of walling that we're seeing, I just think that they're not as confident as TyRanT is. TyRanT, obviously, they're TyRanT, and Viper luring deer to his ally here because he can. Now, let's talk a little bit about the map. If you take a quick look, the wood lines, well, there's decent wood lines within this wall of wood, I guess you could say. But sometimes it's not the best to take that. You want to break out, obviously, to the outer edges of the map. That is where the gold is found. That is where you can put TCs later in the game. That is where the safe areas of the map lie. Now, if it is a team game, you can kind of communicate and say, okay, why don't you take the closer, more plush wood line, and then I will then chop my way out, and your villagers can just run out through the hole that I have chopped. If that makes any logical sense, well, it does make logical sense. It just sounded weird. So, yeah, I mean, Viper here, now he's on the outer edge, and we have Slam on the outer edge, and it looks like these other two players over here are not choosing to do that. So if these guys want to get their TCs out later, they're either going to have to chop their own way out, or they could just meander their way down here, which wouldn't be too efficient, but at least they're going to have a decent wood eco for now. The rest of these guys, looks like they are chopping the outside lumber, or starting to anyway, is Kwai. It's interesting once it gets late game. Early game though, Riot, playing as Mongols, which he's a fantastic Mongols player. We'll have to see what he can do. I mean, you could easily, with the amount of stone you have, in fact, where is the stone? Right there. He could easily get some towers up, but also scouts as well. But scouts against old men might not be the easiest thing to use. Going to be a lot of walling. In fact, they might just team wall with Palisades. This is an entire chaos pit, and still, I think going scouts from Riot is going to be good. I mean, you can get the old men on their heels. It'll take a couple minutes for these guys to break out to the outer edges of the map. Once they do that, it's really going to be interesting to see the engagements here as well. Once players get, I guess with mines, plumed archers, or Mangadai, of course knights, even conquistadors to the Spanish players, how these players choose to do things will be really nice. Looks like Doubt's going to try and stop this wall, but it's going to take a while for Riot to mass some scouts, and he's not going to be able to really get them in. He can definitely attack the Palisades. Is Riot going to even make many scouts? I'm not so sure he will. He might actually trying to scout the outer edges of the map. Yep, there you go. So these scouts, if anything, will be really nice to stop enemy villagers from, you know, gathering resources out here. And he's not quite able to get through. Should be able to now, actually. There you go. He's found his way. So obviously these guys have communicated that this has already been walled. Notice they didn't really make any walls themselves just yet. They're doing it now. A little bit later. All these guys are going up to feudal age much later than Riot because they want to get decent castle age times. We do have Kwai, or excuse me, Feng Xing here with his lumber camp, and he'll try and chop his way out. Also, we have Moonlight here with his. Everyone's going to be trying to make their way on the outer edges of the map. Riot's already sending his vills out there, which is interesting. I'm not sure why he sent vills out yet. What's he looking for? Is he looking for gold? Because he might be sending them out to wall, actually, guys. I will have to pay attention to that. I'm not sure. Like, he's sending a vill out each direction. He's still making scouts. He's making a fair amount of farms, it looks like. He's already gotten the upgrades. Gotten horse collar, and he's gotten double bit axe. Walls have not yet come out for old boys, so he could easily try and get through with a vill, but I will just hotkey a villager and try and figure out what he's doing. He might just make it in time. This other villager, it's hard with that color, but this villager might make it around to wall the wood lines, and that would be really, really nice. This one, he definitely will make it in time. He has to make this one. That's what they're Xing right now. Viper's there, and he has the scouts there nonetheless. I'm trying to keep track of this other vill, and there was another. Oh, he's way behind. But either way, this vill will surely, I think, be able to get there. There's a couple lines of trees, and that's really, really nice stuff. You know, it's interesting. We spoke about these guys having to get out to the outer edges of the map. And what are the chances that none of the old men have actually made it out to the outer edges of the map yet? And Viper has a scout inside the walls. They're able to scout and communicate. This Vil will probably make it for sure. The other Vil on his way now. And he'll make this one. And this is pretty much the only one I'm not sure if they will make. If that's their plan. And at this point, having not walled the map, it seems to be, and I'm not sure who said it in the chat, but it seems to be what they're gonna do. They're gonna wall the wood line. That would be, oh, they're gonna stone wall the wood line as well. Forget palisades, which would probably be good to start. They're gonna stone wall the wood line and just gate it. I guess a gate would be nice, because if they actually cut through, you can run your units through. Let's see what Kwai can see right now. This is actually hilarious. Yeah, do you imagine? Can you imagine you're in the castle age, you think you're in a firm position to win the game if you get outside. You have a lot of resources, and you just can't get out because there's stone walls. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So back on this side, stone walls from Riot. And Riot, he's going to do it. He's going to, he's going to do it. Get stone walls here, and you see the X. As hilarious. It's hilarious. So let's pay attention over here. I mean, we have TCs for the TyRanTs. Looks like there's been slinging again. But we have TCs going up for these guys, and that's obviously what you want to do on the outmost edges of the map. Riot's actually getting coinage now on the feudal age. He's built 2 gates here, and oh, he's gonna look. A watchtower from Moonlight is going to try and stop this Vil from building the gate. Wow, that is something new. That is really something new. But regardless, it's still going to be a huge waste of time for Moonlight and resources. He's not going to be able to get out in a long period of time. 748 HP on a stone gate is going to take a long time. I can't even hold it together right now, but Kwai's been receiving sling. So let's take a look at Kwai, and we have Plumes right here. Doubt here, most likely receiving the sling as well, as he's Mayans. I'm not 100% sure on who Riot is going to sling. Riot has got coinage, and pretty sure that means the sling is falling. But Dow could be in trouble. He could definitely lose his castle there. So we're gonna pay attention to that stuff. That's just funny. I'm still trying to rebound from this. That was really funny from Riot there. Yep, there you go. He's going to stonewall behind here. And, I mean, how much stone is really going to be invested into this? An awful lot. Yep, there's the other Vil that's going to join the party here. Riot's getting scale barding in. Okay, I was going to say, I'm not sure why he'd get scale barding, though, to be honest. I would rather sling those resources, but he might want to attack with these scouts at some point if these units come out. Might be his plan. So right now, Doubt is receiving the sling from Riot. Doubt doesn't have all that much, really, except his castle, and he's still castle age. And that's a problem, really. If you look, he has one castle. Yep, one castle. Almost in imp is Kwai. And most likely, Kwai's been receiving a double sling this entire time amidst all of this, but that seems to be the only way the old men think they can win, I guess. But I love the play from the TyRanTs. This is really, really clever. This is really, really nice. This is absolutely hilarious. And, you know, Doubt has enough to click up. The problem, really, I mean, he's a couple TCs, but he can lose his castle pretty quickly. He doesn't really have that much stone, and he's going to need skill plumes. Kwai could do an excellent, excellent job. Now, if you look at the villager counts, you know, as the score goes up and down multiple times, Viper's doing a decent job. He has multiple TCs, and same goes for Doubt as well, who's, you know, clicking up to Imp with more villagers than what you're seeing from Kwai, like substantial amount more villagers. But Riot is still doing his little dance with villagers on the outside. He's actually going to get a watchtower there. He's just determined to stop these villagers from making it to the outer edges of the map, and that will do the job right there. Really, it will. So he's now going to focus on this side, it looks like, which is just funny stuff. But Doubt's in trouble. If you look at his castle, has a Treb firing upon it, now 2 Trebs firing upon it. His total military, not really even sure where the plumes are. And this could actually be really, really bad for the TyRanT. As you can see, the walls coming up from Riot's base is right here. And while that was cheeky play from Riot, shortly I think that Old Men will be able to get out. And it's not really looking the best in the middle of the map right now for Doubt and Riot. Like, they could, with a couple Trebs and Elite Plumed Archer, Kwai could kill Doubt and Riot pretty quickly. Doubt needs another castle. Ooh, but he's pretty much been forced into Eagles here. If he's receiving the sling, it might be okay. It's going to fizzle out over time. How many castles does Kwai have? Well, he has just 1 castle. So he is going to go into Eagle production. I will speed it up a little bit here. Still, of course, there are players trying to boom for some of these teams that we well, mainly Viper. There's so much slinging going on at the top right. There's so many resources. Viper's now sending resources. I'm really not sure how to follow it all. Let me see, he did break out here. I mean, if anything, Moonlight got the gold, which is nice. Riot's really determined to keep the enemies from getting out here. He's in the feudal age, and in Imperial is Kwai, and he's going to attack with his scouts with +1 defense, but he's gonna try and gate and stone wall this right now. But this is the real problem. Running now is Riot, and running rampant really is Kwai. I mean, he has a lot of plumes. He's getting siege ram as well. That's interesting. That's really interesting. He's able to afford that. I guess receiving the double sling, that's pretty quick. He actually got that before +3. And I don't know. He doesn't have any defense upgrades. The Elite Eagle Warrior with +3 defense is here. If you go siege ram before you get any of those upgrades, you know, Doubt just might be able to push this back a little bit and kill some of these rams. He's going to get squires here. He'll give some speed. There's not many upgrades really in the Elite Plumes. They don't have much attack. And I just wonder if Doubt can hold this for the time being with his Eagles. He's going to get his own castle out now, which is nice. And as you can see, there's not many plumes, not many upgrades on the plumes. I think Kwai maybe got ahead of himself. I'm not sure why Riot continues to try and wall like this. I mean, there's siege ram now in for Kwai. It's not going to last long. Still here, this was really effective. Back on this side as well. That was effective. You know, Fengxing still hasn't gotten out. Siege Workshop coming up for Doubt now. And his Eagles have retreated. Now, question is he getting up the castle to get El Dorado or transition into plumes? Of course, he could do both. I think he has enough Eagles now to justify El Dorado. He definitely needs El Dorado. He's actually going to push in. +3 still not there for Kwai. However, Kwai, he's going to back himself into that corner there and probably take a decent fight. Doubt is still pushing in, and he has all the defense upgrades. He's going to push underneath that castle. He still has more units back here he could send in. And he could take out the Trebs. I don't know if he's going to choose to take out the Plumes or the Trebs. But either way, he has pushed his back a little bit. If you take a look at what Doubt can do, we have TyRanT and his own Siege coming in. So if he holds this, Doubt might actually be able to push back onto Kwai. We do have now Kwai able to push out here, but he's basically receiving Sling. And the only Sling that's really coming, well, it looks like now Feng Xing has broke out to get gold, but the only gold that's really being slung is this gold here from Moonlight. Riot is still there. Is Riot going to build a tower? Do it. Please, Riot, build the tower. We'll have to pay attention. This is really the bulk of the action right now. Viper is pretty much full sling to Doubt. He has a much larger eco. He's looking at 78 Vils, and he is sending it all over to Doubt right now, which is pretty incredible stuff. Yeah, he's not building a tower. That would be really funny. Doubt actually has an eagle there as well. I have to pay attention to see if he does any raiding on the outermost edges of the map. But like I said, I mean, Kwai did not go for any attack upgrades, any defense upgrades. He got Siege Ram first, and now he's been pushed back. And you need a lot of Plumes to really be able to deal with Eagles. And like 1 versus 1, Eagles can deal with Plumes pretty easily. And so, Riot always trying to put the tower up, but the spear, some units have gotten out from Feng Xing now, and they were waiting for it. And Riot, well, he's done that stuff all game. He had to get caught once. Eldorado is now in for Doubt as well. It's going to be fully upgraded soon. He has a lot of Rams coming in, and I think Doubt is going to be able to take this. He has 2 Trebuchets. He's going to have Siege Ram eventually as well, with all the sling coming from Viper, and he has so many Eagles going to be fully upgraded. Of course, what's the perfect counter to the elite plumed archers? Just go Siege Rams with some attack behind it. You know, Fang is slinging, Moonlight is slinging. Kwai himself is on 38 Vils, and pretty much only fighting out of castles right now, and, well, now 1 Siege Workshop. If that goes, that's the bulk of the attack, really, for Old Men. I mean, I guess we could see Moonlight try and do something, but what's he going to do in the Castle Age versus the Eagles of Doubt? Not really all that much, and it's pretty much all Doubt versus Kwai right now. Siege Ram hasn't come in or is not being researched yet for Doubt, but of course more walls here. Oh, but is there... Oh, wow, there was a hole in the wall. Sacrificing a Vil to get the wall finished there is Kwai. Look at just the desperate walling from Moonlight and Kwai. I don't know how long that's gonna last, really. And killing 2 Trebs, it's good. It's very good. But this, you can't do this all day. This Siege Workshop was basically made for Moonlight just to defend. Moonlight is on the way to Imp. Going to be going Knights, getting Scale Barning. Still, I don't know if you saw these idols. Like, I don't know how many idols sitting there for... Actually, we have 39 Vils for Kwai, 40 Vils, and 31 idol. That's insane. Yeah, this is gonna go down. This is gonna be it. This wall's gonna go down right now, and these Eagles are all gonna run in. Oh, he's gonna wall behind it. He's gonna wall behind it. He's gonna try to wall behind it. I just don't feel like he can do this all game. Doubt is here. Has some villagers, but yeah, just a lot of walling. Doubt needs to get in though, honestly. I mean, these elite plumed archers are killing a lot of Eagles. He has a couple Eagles in here, just did sneak in there, but the more time they give to Moonlight and Kwai is, the worse it's going to be. That being said, I just think it's just really hard for them. What Doubt should do is send Eagles over on this side. But Viper's about to click Imp. Viper is Persians. Looks like he's going Knights. I'm not sure quite what he has in that Siege Workshop. We'll take a quick look. It looks like he has some Rams, and he's getting Husbandry. He will go Knights. And, well, more walls, of course, but he will be able to get in. They can pretty much expect walls everywhere at this point. And all the walls, definitely going to be able to get in them at this point. There's no villagers to plug the holes. And if the Siege Rams can go in there, it can really help out in the fight. The Eagles, of course, probably in this mass going to have some trouble against Elite Plumes. The Siege Rams from Doubt going to really help. As you can see, that Siege Ram not even halfway from being destroyed by his Plumes. Doubt just taking his time pushing in. He doesn't have the Siege Rams in support. He's going to wait, send the Siege Rams in. Still, like I said, just 2 castles really for Kwai that I can see, and that's the bulk of it. It looks like he has reboomed in the back. Still Kwai, 13 idols. It's like a fourth of his entire eco. Viper, though, is getting Cavalier, and I think he's going to wait a little bit and try and do something a little bit surprising. He's actually getting a Mangonel so he can fire over top the walls, and Doubt was just content to continue to make Rams and Eagles. Viper has a lot of resources. Now there's basically 2 very strong players on the TyRanTs, and there's 1 decently strong player on Old Men. This castle will go down. There's nothing that Kwai can do to stop Doubt here. There's no doubt about it. And he's gonna try repair with a couple villagers. It's gonna go down. And Cavalier are actually gonna come out from Moonlight. They're just stalling. Like we saw this before as well. They're just stalling. There's nothing they can really do to pull this back. There's nothing they can do. They are committed to this. Viper's actually waiting for Paladin as well. He still hasn't engaged. So 1 castle left now for Kwai, and as far as villagers are concerned, still for him, he's at 48. Doubt is at 84 villagers, much higher, and he is receiving some sling. Eagles, fantastic at raiding, gonna push on in. Traps lots of siege. Still lots of military for Kwai. That's one thing is going well for him. Doubt just needs to hold this military presence in the middle, and Viper's just going to push in and do it. They're just still trying to wall. Like, you can't do this forever. You will eventually all be back in the middle of the map, just like squished. You have to do something. You have to. I mean, I guess it's all they can do right now, honestly. I don't really think there's anything they can do at this point in the game. We have the Trebs coming out. We have the Eagles. I would actually like to see Doubt. I guess if he's getting the resource, that's fine. But he definitely could transition into Plumes at some point and have that go in his favor as well. Paladin has yet to come in for the Viper. I wonder if it would be wise for him to just join in the fight in the middle. If Viper's Paladins were to be here, he'd be able to pretty much destroy everything. Yeah, should have walled better. Yeah, maybe if they walled better, it would have been it. But so much eco rating going to be done. These Eagles going to do a great job at that. I mean, Eagles now seem to be running rampant. There's not enough Plumes left. The Plumes, I'm not sure where they've really gone. They're way back here trying to keep Moonlight alive, and it's not looking. There's so many vills here. So many vills back here as well. Ooh, but now Doubt has found the castle as well. That's the only castle left, I think, for Kwai. It's not looking great. Well, Viper he's gone through 2/3 of the wall, but I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that Feng Zhao is going to wall more. That's my guess. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right, and there you go. Either way, I still agree. with what I said before. It's pretty much all they can do at this point. You can't really make fun of them. TyRanT just too strong right now. TyRanT just all over the map. Riot's on his way up to Imp as well, guys. On his way up to Castle with Slam. Riot has a lot of villagers nearing 100, so he's very strong. Viper's at 140 vills. He's able to afford an awful lot of Paladin. Siege Ram as well is about to come in. Those walls are going to go down pretty quick. I think it's all but delaying the death right now of old men. Now these plumes, they're going to be up against it here. The Paladin from Viper have run a long way, but they are here. And then the Eagles are here as well from Dow. And so he's going to run back. He can run back. He's going to lose all their buildings. And it just doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Repairing the trap, very kind thing for Moonlight to do, to be able to repair that one trebuchet, which isn't going to really be used at any point in this game, I don't think, anymore. And there's the GG. So, kind of expected there at this point in the game that the GG was going to be coming in. Viper as well, I think, going in on this right-hand side. Just very strong. But that is it, and Feng Zhao yet to really call it, but that's it, guys. That's the best of 5, so that gives it to the TyRanTs. So, glad we could get you the games. Obviously, they're a little bit slower. At least I casted the Rex a little bit slower. If you watched the Nomad game, there's reasons for that. It was on speed 50, and it was still a lot to follow. But it was better this way, I think, in hindsight, because, you know, the amount of lag. There was a drop in pretty much every game except one of the 4 games, so it would have been just really frustrating for the casters, and we wanted to get the other games we had previously this morning up, and these then a little bit later, so I'm glad we could do that. I just have to say that Riot's little, I mean, he ran 2 villagers out of this wood line here, ran it all the way around. His stone walling of the wood line was just hilarious. That was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time from like a TyRanT player. That was funny. I don't know in the end if it paid off in a huge way, but it certainly did pay off in early game. Like it made a big difference. That was really funny. There was a lot of slinging going on, guys. Like so much slinging. So as you can see, like, pretty much everybody sent or received resources. If you look at the right-hand side here, it was pretty insane. So if you look at Slam, someone asked what Slam is doing. He was sending resources. Feng Zhang was pretty much purely slinging. Feng Zhao was doing pretty much the same. He received like 83 of something. It was a lot of receiving, slinging type of game. So, Kwai, he received the most. Doubt, he received the second most. Those were the 2 that were fighting an awful lot. Viper did send a lot of resources, and he also, like, was one of the stronger players in the game. If you look at the society stats, he had 139 villagers. That certainly had a lot to do with it. So, it was a great game overall. Looks like Kwai killed more villagers, killed more units, but it just didn't matter, really. That was good games.